Looking to get lost within an almost unthinkable footprint on your next ski trip? As the two biggest ski resorts in the United States from boundary to boundary, Vail and Park City are obvious choices. These two consistently get some of the most destination interest of any resorts in North America, and naturally, a wide variety of vacation planners probably have both on their shortlists. So let's say you're looking to narrow it down. Which one should you choose? In this video, we'll go through the differences between these two mountains, what they both do well, what they fall short in, and who each is for. If you find this information helpful, please consider helping us out by liking this video and hitting the bell so you don't miss any of our content. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, feel free to make them in the comments below. The first thing you'll probably be wondering is which of these mountains is easier to get to? Well, it probably depends on how much money you have. The vast majority of those watching this video will probably find it much easier to access Park City, which is less than an hour from the Salt Lake City airport under good conditions and a relatively easy drive. On the other hand, Vail is over 2 hours from the Denver airport, and that's assuming no traffic. And the drive along Interstate 70 is a treacherous one, involving steep gradients, twisty turns, and varying weather during the course season. But Vail is also only half an hour away from the Eagle County Regional Airport, which, if you can afford the tickets, means a considerably shorter travel time from plane to resort. When it comes to snow quality, both Park City and Vail are strong offerings. Both regularly see high quality snow with good preservation throughout the season, and both mountains see their fair share of powder days with light, dry accumulation to play around in. But if we had to choose between the two, we'd probably give Vail the edge in overall snow. The resort is at a higher elevation than Park City and retains its base a bit better as a result. Vail also has some incredibly removed lift service ski areas that can take days to get tracked out if conditions remain consistent. Untouched Park City terrain doesn't tend to last as long, but the resort does have a few hike-to areas that notably stand out in this respect. When it comes to the size of the skiable footprint, Park City wins this battle, with 7,300 acres versus 5,300 for Vail. But Vail actually might feel like the bigger resort. And that's not a surprise, because even though Park City has a bigger skiable footprint, Vail is actually bigger from boundary to boundary, with a big chunk of the front side not actually skiable. Park City does have the massive acreage it advertises, but the boundary to boundary footprint is simply comparable to, rather than much greater than, its skiable terrain. Vail is not an easy mountain to get around, with lots of lifts needed to get to and from the furthest removed areas. But Park City is even worse, with its wide, long footprint resulting in an environment where visitors have to take multiple lifts to get even between the main mountain zones. If you start at one Park City base, you have to take at least 4 lifts to get to the other one. End up in the wrong mountain zone after 3 p.m., you're probably stuck taking a shuttle bus back to where you need to be. At least with Vail, you can get between bases with just one lift ride, making it palatable if you end up in the wrong place near the end of the day. Part of this discrepancy can be attributed to how Vail and Park City came to fruition in their current forms in the first place. Park City Resort as it exists today used to be 2 completely separate resorts, Park City and Canyons, whereas Vail was always designed to be one comprehensive resort from the start. The Park City and Canyons sides are only connected by a singular gondola, and it's one that's quite removed from the base, meaning that for many guests, it'll make sense to think of the 2 Park City zones as wholly separate ski areas. Despite having fewer skiable acres, Vail's terrain feels more varied than Park City's. The facet that really makes Vail stand out is its bowl terrain. The back bowls host miles of wide open high alpine slopes, with the areas extending for a seemingly infinite distance. On the other hand, Park City is a chiefly below treeline resort. None of Park City's true bowl terrain is even lift accessed, and all of it must be hiked to. However, Park City has some noteworthy lift service strengths, including surprisingly varied glade terrain and a few open bowl-like areas. Vail's more unique footprint and surrounding peaks give the mountain a more distinctive vibe than Park City, but Park City's town feels more down-to-earth and charming than Vail's. Park City is arguably better for beginners than Vail. Both resorts offer a sizable beginner footprint, but Park City's is congregated in both lower and mid-mountain areas, where Vail's is more central to mid and upper elevations, with lower mountain greens mainly being unenjoyable catwalks. This makes it difficult for less experienced guests to get down the mountain at Vail without downloading a lift, whereas at Park City, it's easy to ski to the bottom from beginner-oriented areas. There is one catch to beginner terrain at Park City though. All the worthwhile green runs are congregated on the Park City side, and the canyon side has nothing more than a single bunny hill. At least with Vail, there's beginner terrain accessible from every base. Both Park City and Vail are excellent for intermediates, although Vail might have the slight upper hand. Across both resorts, there are days worth of groomed cruisers available to explore. Both mountains also offer incredible intermediate glade terrain, Vail with thinly wooded pines in Blue Sky Basin, and Park City with light, widely spaced aspens in the Dreamscape Zone. Both Vail and Park City normally leave some of their blues ungroomed, but Vail typically does so a bit more than Park City. Vail stands out from Park City with high alpine intermediate terrain. The resort's back bowls have a handful of wide open blues with wide open vistas. Terrain like this is nowhere to be found at Park City. When it comes to advanced terrain, both Vail and Park City don't disappoint. Both resorts boast copious amounts of steep ungroomed terrain, while Park City also offers a decent number of advanced level groomers that allow for serious speed runs. There are also a handful of demanding expert runs at both resorts. Vail's frontside chutes hide obstacles such as rocks and small cliffs, while its mid-mountain double blacks seem to go on for what feels like forever. Park City's Jupiter and 9990 areas exclusively serve double black runs, and also host tricky pitches and obstacles. But neither are top of class when it comes to extreme terrain. Those looking for the toughest terrain between the two resorts will arguably find it at Park City, where its Jupiter Peak chutes comprise truly dangerous terrain with demandingly tight turns and very little room for error. However, getting to this area requires a 20 to 30 minute hike that will probably dissuade most guests. The one place Park City really stands out from Vail is in its terrain parks. Park City's freestyle areas are world class, with features ranging from small to extra large and setups so desirable that professional competitors often set up there. Vail's terrain parks are decidedly ho-hum for a flagship resort. They do exist, but the mountain ops team often takes their sweet time in getting them open, and there isn't even a large terrain park or halfpipe every season. Vail has a more modern and intuitively designed lift system than Park City. Essentially every area at Vail is served by a high-speed lift, whereas some Park City areas are still served by slow, fixed-grip chairs. And while a lot of Vail's lifts are long, at least they get you directly to the places you want to go. On the other hand, Park City's lift network is surprisingly indirect, with lots of out-of-the-way detours required to get to where you want. For context, both Vail and Park City have just over a 3,000 foot vertical rise from bottom to top frontside areas, regardless of what base you start at. In most cases, it takes about 15 minutes to get up this rise at Vail, but at Park City, it's typically more like half an hour, and that's assuming the crowds aren't bad. Speaking of crowds, neither Park City nor Vail are immune from the large traffic that seemed to become a hallmark at many resorts in the past few years. But recently, Park City has fared worse, with its poorly designed lift system resulting in some notorious choke points. Lines of over 20 minutes at key lifts required to get certain places are now commonplace, with the Quicksilver Gondola, which provides the only access between the Park City and Canyon's mountainsides, being one of the worst offenders. On the other hand, Vail's base lifts can get crowded in the morning, and the back bowl chairs can be major choke points on powder days, but Vail sees much more manageable lines than Park City. One advantage Park City does have over Vail is a series of expert-only chairlifts, which never see lines. If you're looking to visit one of these behemoth resorts, you'll probably be looking for a place to stay. And in this regard, both Park City and Vail offer multiple options of various types. Whether it's condos, upscale inns, or luxury hotels, they can be found across multiple base areas, with some ski in, ski out, and others in the village or town. The town of Vail is effectively one base village that stretches along for what seems like forever, whereas Park City offers both a true town in downtown Park City, as well as a smaller village in the canyon's base. Lodging options at Park City are generally better value for what you get than Vail. While it's instituting paid parking in more places next winter, Park City is still the clear winner when it comes to driving access. The resort still offers free, albeit limited, lift service slots on its canyon side, whereas all even remotely convenient parking at Vail costs at least $30 a day. Somehow get bored of Park City or Vail during your trip and want to explore other mountains? Both are a short drive away from other destination resorts. Park City probably has the slight upper hand in this respect, being just down the street from neighboring Deer Valley and less than an hour from Alta, Snowbird, Brighton, and Solitude, as well as just over an hour from Snow Basin and Powder Mountain. But Vail is only 20 minutes from Sister Mountain Beaver Creek, as well as under an hour from Copper, Breckenridge, Keystone, and Arapahoe Basin when road conditions are good. One nice thing about Park City and Vail is that if you really want, you can reasonably hit both in a single season. That's because both peaks are on the Epic Pass, a multi-resort season pass that offers access to around 3 dozen regional and destination ski resorts around North America. The full Epic Pass offers unlimited season-long access to both Vail and Park City, while the base Epic Local Pass comes with holiday blackouts and a cap of 10 days combined at Vail, Beaver Creek, and Whistler Blackcomb, although Park City access is still unrestricted outside holiday periods. So Park City and Vail both have notable pros and cons, and Park City is probably the better bet for those who want a more down-to-earth town, better freestyle terrain, and a larger skiable footprint. But Vail beats Park City where it really counts, with a much better layout, significantly more distinctive terrain, and faster lifts, making it the stronger mountain for a wide variety of destination goers. Park City's lift ticket prices do undercut Vail's, but only by a smidge. And if you're already paying $200 a day, you may as well just splurge for the better mountain. Vail handily beats Park City in our overall rankings, with Park City only besting Vail in the size category. Vail puts up significantly better scores in lifts, navigation, and mountain aesthetic, as well as slightly better scores in terrain diversity and crowd flow. In our Rockies rankings, Vail puts up a respectable 6th place, while Park City comes in at 23rd, scoring below not only Vail, but a wide variety of lower-priced Colorado competitors. For more information on Park City, Vail, and over 60 other North American destination ski resorts, check out peakrankings.com. See you for the next one.